if a ship is U.S. flagged, Israeli flagged, UK flagged, etc., they cannot get coverage at all?
Not necessarily, no. I mean, everything is insurable for a price. And the price for, I mean, the insurers don't even necessarily now follow the flag, what they're calling it a US or Israeli nexus.
Okay, what does that mean?
Well, the definition is not consistent, but it means if there's any connection that they feel will make it more of a target. So that can be the owner, it can be the charterer, because many vessels that have Israeli or US ownership aren't flagged US or Israeli. So it's really about, is the operation in some way got a US or Israel flavour? Yeah. It can even be the ownership of the cargo on board and nothing to do with the ship owner. So it's fairly broad in its application.
So, you know, this whole insurance crisis, right, has it actually noticeably, can we quantify it? Has it actually affected traffic and flows through the Strait?
Yes, I mean, Straits of Hormuz traffic is definitely down, I think by about 30%, last numbers I looked at. But there's also, it's not stopping, it's more slow. So vessels that are going through one way or the other, they're not passing that very narrow. It's about 30 kilometers at its narrowest, right? Yeah. They're not going through until they absolutely have to, so the day before they're due to load. Whereas before they sort of go in a nice orderly manner and sort of, you know, wait and things. So there's a lot of build-up on the other side of the Strait as vessels are sort of waiting for their turn, and then they're going straight through.
So they sort of run in and run out,
yeah.
Right? As fast
I mean,
it's
a one-way street. I mean, there's only one way in or out. That's why, from a security point of view, it is it's fairly high risk conceptually.
Michael, we've seen reports of Israeli authorities trying to stop ships, including tankers, right, for inspection and all sorts of other reasons. Is that still the case, or is that eased off?
I think that's eased off. I mean, you're talking about in Israeli waters, yeah. I mean, the port of Haifa has been the subject of quite a lot of attacks in the last week. They're obviously on high alert. From a war risk insurance perspective, the waters around Israel are not deemed to be high risk. It's only the port itself. So looking from the insurance market perspective, it's not seen as such a high risk, although obviously, again, insurance is just one part of it. Right? As a ship owner and as a charterer, you've got to do your own due diligence and think, right, is this worth it? You know, am I putting people in danger or not?